Hey, what a fine
Well, yeah,
set.
I'll
Let me
say.
quickly run down the set list. Hell in a Bucket, Easy Win, Loser, Brown Eyed Women, Throwing Stones, Road Jimmy, Lost Sailor, and Saint of Circumstance. And let me say how thrilled I am that Lost Sailor has returned to the songbook in the last couple of years. Such a great, great song, and I've missed it. It fell out of the Dead's repertoire for, 10, 15 years there. It was great to have it back. And Gary, what is John Mayer doing with this guitar? It's got a whammy bar and he's getting a lot of use out of that thing.
Yeah, but hey, listen, let's save that to talk to our wonderful musically astute guests about that a little bit, because I'm sure they'll have some comments on the set as well. But before we do that, let's set the scene. This is a little halftime show that we've had devised, and for which we've been invited to host, to our immense gratitude. It's called Dead Air with Lambert and Gans. I'm Lambert, so by process of elimination, the other guy is Gans. And we're going to be doing this for every show of the tour, hosting for nugs.net. And of course, all of these shows are available to stream. You can find out how to do that at nugs.net or livedead.co. And we are going to have guests on every set break from various realms of the general Grateful Dead universe and its suburbs. And we're really looking forward to this. We're really looking forward to tonight's guest. David, shall we bring them on?
Well, let's just go ahead and do that then. We have my friends, neighbors, and longtime colleagues and collaborators, Blair Jackson and Regan McMahon, live from Oakland, California, not far from where I am. Hi, you guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome.
Very you good. Look lovely. I haven't.
Go ahead. But Blair and Regan were the publishers and editors of The Golden Road, a fabulous fanzine in the early 80s and early 90s. And really, really wonderful commentators on all that stuff. Blair, of course, has written several books about the Grateful Dead, including The Grateful Dead Gear and Garcia and American Life. And he's my collaborator on This Is All a Dream, We Dream, an oral history of the Grateful Dead. And what else is going on with you two guys? They're also big fans of this band, and we were dancing together to it just a couple of nights ago.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, that was a great show. They've all been good shows. Yeah, so it's been really exciting. You know, a weird thing happened. Somebody came to our door during the beginning of the first set and was offering some brown acid. And since there was nothing mentioned from the stage, we did it. So I don't know if that was a mistake or not.
Well, we can reassure you it's not poison. It's just not specifically too good.
Thank you.
So Blair, I want to get into this. We'll talk about the set. We'll talk about lots of stuff. We are both old East Coast homeboys, deadheads. I'm in fact wearing a T-shirt that commemorates all of the shows the Grateful Dead played at the Capitol Theater in Portchester, New York. Ooh. And I believe Portchester is where the figurative bus came by for you, where you saw your first show. Is that correct?
Yes, March 20th, 1970, late show. It was my first set, my first show, and my mind was blown, and I kept going back and kept going back. I loved the Capitol. The Capitol was great. That first night, it was only about half full, probably, which I think is the only time I ever saw a crowd that small for the Grateful Dead. The word got around about the Capitol pretty quick after that. So,
right.
Yeah.
It had just opened, I think. Yeah, it had just opened weeks before that to the Capitol, and many New Yorkers didn't know where Portchester exactly was. I missed the first night at the Capitol. I missed March 20th and was there every night the Grateful Dead played there thereafter. So I have that one blot on my attendance record, but I'm glad you were there to represent anyway.
Well, I was only there for that, and in those days I didn't know you had to go to every show in the run, so I would usually go to one out of however many there were. And I think February '71 was the first time I went to two shows in a run, and that was exciting. So
I don't think I ever heard that you had to go to every show. I just sort of opted to go to as many shows as I could. Regan, when was your first show?
The 1980, the Warfield shows, when they did the 15 nights and then they went to New York, that whole series. So I was a little late to the game.
Never too late.
What did you think of them?
I really liked it. I thought it was great. And then one of the, I guess it was the last show in the run. We were there where Bill Graham passed out champagne to everyone. And that was like a really magical moment. There's some great photos of that. And I thought, yeah, this is pretty special.
Did you like the music too?
Yes.
I had indoctrinated her already, so yeah. It sort of came with the territory.
Yeah, both of you, I guess you met through music journalism. Both of you have a background in journalism, and you became fellow Deadheads and husband and wife and all that. It must be nice to have such a one-stop passion as the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Well, we all worked together at BAM magazine, and we all got to watch the romance between Blair and Regan blossom there in the editorial department. It was great fun.
Yeah.
They were charming from the start.
Yeah. And now, since the pandemic and everybody's working at home, we're back to the way we were at BAM, just both in a bedroom in a building, and that's where we work.
Right. So let's talk about that first set a little bit. Once again, so this is the 9th set of the tour, 4 shows under their belt, and now 4.5. And they've just come out blazing at each one. And, even some of the most commonplace songs like Hell in the Bucket just are, they don't seem commonplace in the hands of this band. Bobby's high notes on Hell in the Bucket were so on point tonight. I mean, he was hitting them like 1972 vintage Bobby, I thought.
Yeah, I really like the way this band does Hell in a Bucket for it more often than not, which is kind of the way Rat Dog was doing it there towards it. It's really nice to kind of ease into it and then to kind of slam into it once you get there. So it's a nice build up for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was
when the set started, my wife was listening to that and go, I don't know what this is, but it sure is sweet. And it became Hell in a Bucket. So, yeah, they kind of gently eased up into that thing instead of, as you say, slamming into it as like they used to.
I guess you guys have not really discussed the first set at all, but would like to hear your thoughts on the aborted Easy Wind.
I wouldn't call it aborted. I would say they didn't end it with a big flourish. They kind of like let it trickle into whatever was next, into Loser. It was, yeah. But, that's the thing. Like, they never quite finished it. Well, they didn't do the 3/4 section that the Pigpen version had. But it's kind of refreshing that just about everything this band does is kind of non-standard, in terms of the way the Grateful Dead did it. Throwing stones in the middle of a first set was a very uncharacteristic call, and there was so much set left after that. Throwing Stones very often will end a set or, be the penultimate tune of a set. And they had some surprises up their sleeve, as I expect they will in the second set.
Yeah, they always manage to support these.
Yeah.
What?
Now let's talk about John's guitar and that whammy bar, because you guys can add some commentary on that as well. Is that a new thing this tour, Gary?
I know John he's got like a new custom model of his John Mayer signature model guitar from PRS, his standard for many years. I don't know much about it, but he's been using the whammy bar to great effect for these first several shows. And it's not something I've seen him do a lot of. And then Bobby had that interesting Bobby had that hollow body Gibson out for the last for Sailor and Saint, and that was, I don't know if I've seen that one before, or I think he's used it sparingly. He's used it with Wolf Bros, but I can't recall if I've seen it on stage with Deadco before, and it worked just fine, I thought.
Yeah, it's been kind of refreshing to see John play the same guitar night after night, because it sounds really, really good, and I think it meshes really well with Weir's guitar.
Right.
So yeah, I think the whammy bar is, I don't know if it's new, but he's definitely using it more than he has in the past. It was so great on Road Jimmy, where Garcia used to sort of play a slide solo pretty often in the early '70s on that. So it had a little bit of that vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying. Let me interrupt quickly to remind people that are watching this as a free preview on YouTube that the reason they're giving you this free preview is to induce you to buy the stream and watch the rest of the show. And if you decide to do that, by the way, you have access to the first set also. You can watch the whole thing. You got like 48 hours to watch the whole thing. I guess you can probably watch it as many times as you want to in that period. And of course, you can also subscribe to the entire tour, and you can subscribe to nugs.net. That's the reason we're doing this. They hired us to do something entertaining that's a little bit more interesting than a stay tuned card. And I'm sure we're meeting that criterion, I have to say, but also to market this stream to people. So I'm essentially here offering a little bit of a commercial for nugs.net. And if you visit livedead.co, you'll find many, many different ways to access the complete library of Dead & Company performances going back to 2016. There are audio and video downloads and streaming available, and nugs.net has tons and tons of other music, hundreds of other artists, an immense library that you can subscribe to as on a subscription basis. So livedead.co and nugs.net are both sites you can visit to find out more about what nugs.net has to offer you as a music fan. And now back to our conversation.
Right.
Trained professional kids.
Yes. One thing I want to, many Deadheads of our vintage, at least, very fondly remember the Golden Road, which is one of the most wonderful fanzines ever. And one of the most beautifully visual. The design was really, really deluxe. Fanzines range from like mimeographed things to more elaborate ones. And I know you guys put so much heart and soul into that mag. How many issues did you wind up doing of that?
27 from 1984 to we did 2 annuals. One in 1992 and one in 1993. After we had our second kid, we decided that 3 or 4 issues a year was too much. So so we went to the annuals, and
It really was
really
amazing. One of the things about this culture is that it has inspired so many people, so much scholarship and so much creativity from other people. We had Relics, we had Dupree's Diamond News, and we had the Golden Road, and we had radio shows, and I mean, and Blair, you wrote one of the very first biographies of the Grateful Dead. It seems to me when The Music Never Stopped hit in '83, it was only like the 3rd or 4th book on the topic. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that really the only one that had been on the topic was the Hank Harrison 2 books, The Dead and The Dead Book. Before that, I don't think there had really been a regular history of the Dead before The Music Never Stopped. So. Yeah,
and right around that same time was when the official book of the Deadheads came out, if I recall correctly. So I remember looking at thinking, if we think this music is so all-fired important, we better start writing the books. And so we did. And now there are literally hundreds of books about the Grateful Dead. You guys have contributed a huge amount to that. I love the ads. You had these great fake ads in the Golden Road. My favorite one I remember, Chateau St. Bones, a hotel on wheels for your Grateful Dead touring needs. It was a lot of fun to open up every issue.
Yeah, well, I had the advantage of I was an editor at the San Francisco Chronicle, and so I could go into the photo morgue, as they called it, to look at old, funny black and white pictures from the 50s and 60s and whenever, and then we would kind of make jokes around them for our back issues ads, for our subscribe to the magazine ads, and then for a fodder for some of Blair's humor when he would just be riffing on things like the one where Jerry is golfing and he's got a little, with Tam O'Shanter on his head.
It was pretty funky in retrospect, in the sense that we didn't have Photoshop. We would literally cut on a photo and glue Jerry's head onto another photo, and it looked like it sometimes, but I think people appreciated the spirit in which it was offered. And for our last 2 issues,
yeah.
Well, the band always had a really great sense of humor about themselves, and so it's not like we were we were occasionally critical. I was usually accused of being too nice to them, believe it or not. But they like the humor stuff. They like being mocked in a hopefully intelligent way. So.
Right.
Now, you excerpted
gonna-
some of that book into a book, right? Was that Going Down the Road? Is that stuff from the Golden Road?
Yeah, that was all Golden Road stuff. And I've actually been in talks with somebody about possibly reviving that, reprinting that. So I don't know if it'll happen or not.
That would be so
Somebody's
great.
So.
It'd be great to see a lot of that stuff online, at least, so people can see it. There was so much visual cleverness in it, as well as all of the text. And you also got great interviews. Didn't you get to interview Hunter and Garcia together for Golden Road?
Yeah, that was, I believe, their only interview together back in 1991. All the issues are actually online. There's a site called, I hope I don't get this wrong, I think it's called deadsets.com. And he has all the Dupree's Diamond News. He has a lot of Relixes, and he has every issue of the Golden Road. You can go through them and read them to your heart's content. So they do exist online.
Also the UC Santa Cruz archive, Grateful Dead archive has them too.
Theirs had a few gaps in it.
Yeah, it wasn't. But I thought you let them know.
I let them know, but I don't know if they changed it. But anyway, so it's out there. If you want to check it out, check it out.
What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing today?
Today?
I mean, what are your careers? What are your jobs now?
I'm writing the cover story of Ukulele Magazine, which is my main gig, and which is on Jake Shimabukuro, based on an interview I did a few weeks ago when Jake was in Livermore. So I'm writing a Jake Shimabukuro article. What are you doing, Regan?
I'm editing reviews of children's books for Common Sense Media, where I work as the books editor. And
hey, that's what I want.
Website's all about media and tech for kids.
Writing and editing never stops. So
right. Hey, just to update people, what we're doing right now is a halftime show at Dead & Company. Dead & Company will be heading back to the stage whenever they feel like it, and management will inform us exactly when that moment is. But in the meantime, we're doing this thing, so be patient. The band will be back, and we are filling the time by talking to two of our favorite people, writers, journalists, authors, married couple, parents of two fabulous humans, Blair Jackson and Regan McMahon, and it's a delight to have you guys here. One thing I want to bring up before we go back to the set is, we always try to alert people to the good causes supported by the band, Headcount, of course, and the Rex Foundation. And one thing I really wanted to particularly mention this week is the Rex Roadies Fund, which was established to help rock and roll trench workers whose livelihoods were devastated by the shutdown of venues and live shows and all that. And I never stop being in awe of these people, and particularly in times like this when they're working under highly fraught conditions because of the pandemic and also because of the kind of weather we've had, just in this first week of the tour. These people don't get a break from the weather. If there's a rain delay, they're still on the stage breaking down stuff and putting up stuff and, safeguarding the equipment, making sure it doesn't get rained on. And, they're there from the crack of dawn to set up stages. They head to the next town and set up stages. So if you want to support the Rex Foundation and all of its good works, you can also specify that you want to support the Rex Roadies Fund. So I wanted to put in a plug for that.
That's a really great idea because, some musicians, I sat down and started playing a live show every day from home for tips, but guitar techs don't have that option. Drum roadies don't have that option. Sound guys didn't have that option. So those are the ones that are needing our help that's coming through the Rex Roadies Fund.
I think it's fair to say that the Grateful Dead have the most famous roadies of all time, don't you think, in terms of the number of people who know who the roadies for the Grateful Dead were? So they were an interesting and cool group, and some of them are still around.
Right.
But, roadies are the unsung heroes.
Indeed.
Very true.
Okay, we are told the band is moving back toward the stage. The rate of return is always a crapshoot, but we will see how fast they get back there. In the meantime, we've got a couple more minutes we can spend with Blair and Regan before we say goodbye to them.
How about that Philly show?
Okay.
That's what I'd like to talk
What did you think?
I think they've been, getting better pretty much every night. It's all been great. But that Philly show with the one continuous set was so interesting, and it opened up so many interesting possibilities of kind of the flow of the set, and they kind of nailed it. They really had that energy throughout. It was I thought that was really a spectacular show.
Yeah.
That Morning Dew.
I agree.
Morning Dew.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I've been pulling individual songs and pairs of songs and stuff from these recordings to use on my other radio show, and I've got a huge pile. I mean, it's all first-rate material. There's just so many, and the way they connect the songs, the way the conversational jamming between songs and stuff, it's just really at the highest level. It's so nice to hear.
Yeah, and I want to say.
Sorry.
Just want to single out our friend Matt Bush for some praise, because he had to rejigger that set list to compress it into one seamless show. And and you would think that sometimes, well, maybe they'll just truncate the jams a little bit, but the set was actually designed so that the jams could really flow, and there was some really high quality collective improvisation there. The other one. Just a whole lot of stuff. So,
yeah, City Field also was pretty much great from beginning to end, I thought. So New York always gets a good show. So
all of it is. Yeah. I mean, they just play so well, and they listen.
So, go ahead, Blair.
I can say one of the fun things I like about this band is that you sort of never know which song is going to kind of lift you from one night to the next. So like the first night, I remember loving the Brown Eyed Women particularly. I mean, I don't know where it came from. It's just amazing. They just kept going and going, and things that I didn't necessarily look that forward to in the Grateful Dead. Road Jimmy. I mean, I love Road Jimmy, but the way this band does Road Jimmy is really, really great, and they love each other. I mean, you never know sort of what's going to sneak up on you and just suddenly go on and jammed out. John is really stepping it up, I think. So
yeah, and well. Brown Eyed Women is one of those songs where the beautiful musical bromance of Mayer and Clementi really shines best. They have a long sequence of trading off, guitar and piano riffs in that song. And any song where that happens can be a highlight of a show for me, because those two guys are communicating on a really amazing level.
And we have Oteil Bergen playing an entirely different form of amazing bass from the other guy that plays this music so famously. It's like everybody's at the top of their game in this organization.
Absolutely.
And it's always great to hear Oteil sing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we got to hear that.
Yeah, we heard Jeff sing twice on one show. So.
That's right. So we are still awaiting word. It's always interesting to see when we're going to get the word to shut things down. But Blair and Regan, it has been so great having you. I haven't seen you guys in ages. David sees you on a much more regular basis because he lives just up the block. But miss you guys. One of the downsides of being in New York, which has many advantages, is missing Bay Area buddies. So this is a real treat for me, especially. And I think we're getting the word that the last band members are going to the stage. So we're going to say our good nights to you, but we have loved having you. Hope to dance with you in person sometime on some coast one of these days. Love you guys.
Right. And we will in the next few days. Thank you again, you guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Blair Jackson and Regan McMahon, ladies and gentlemen, and former publishers of The Golden Road and participants in the Grateful Dead culture in so many ways, and contributors to our general creative excellence of this little world. And now, Gary, we get to stretch a little more while we wait for the band to go back
the word
on
we
stage.
just got. Go ahead.
Good. Oh, I'm just babbling. I'm so excited about this next set. There's this, I'm not one of those people that thinks that every historical moment needs to be commemorated as often as possible. And you and I have discussed many times this sort of unnecessarily exalted nature of Woodstock. But it's nice to think
Right.
that some evocation of Woodstock will take place this evening in this place. And some of the material that was played that night is available to this band as well. So let's hope something happens.
Yeah, these guys do have somewhat of a sense of occasion, and sometimes none at all. But it'll be interesting to see what they do. It's just nice that looking out at the crowd, just the vibe is so positive. And if anything is evoked of Woodstock, it's that sense of community, and that sense of people experiencing pleasure. Of course, the adversity then was, it got kind of muddy. This time it's like a global pandemic, so that might be a little more serious. But we also have more comfortable and technologically advanced surroundings for the band to play in and for the crowd to enjoy things in. So I'm looking forward to the second set, see what the band has up its sleeve. Who knows?
And we'll talk to you again before the show in a couple of days, right? We're
That's
doing
right.
this
We
on
will
every
be,
show. Intro before the first set, and then we'll do this between sets thing and an intro to the second set. And all of these will be archived as previews for sets 1 and 2 over on youtube.com/nugsnet. So if you enjoyed these interviews and want to share them with your friends, you can find them over there with links to share them. And we're certainly happy to be doing this for you and hope you're enjoying them.
Right. And if you check out those free previews and are so enticed, please consider purchasing the webcast in HD or 4K, because the whole tour is going to be available. You can go back and watch a set that you missed within a couple of days of it having happened. And so far, every show has been worth checking out. And if this band continues this role, I expect more of the same. So the band is on stage. We're waiting for the house light signal, but it could happen any second or any minute or any half hour. We never know.
We never know. But just to remind you, my name is David Gans, and his name is Gary Lambert, and we get to do this on every show of this tour for nugs.net, and we sure appreciate the opportunity to do it and to bring so many interesting people to your attention. We also co-host a show on Sunday afternoons on Sirius XM's Grateful Dead channel called Tales from the Golden Road. And the cool thing about that is it's not just the two of us bullshitting, it's a bunch of other people calling in and telling stories and asking questions and quashing rumors and stuff like that. And we've been doing that for 13 years, and we're going to keep doing that all through this as well. So if you have a subscription to Sirius XM, consider tuning into Tales from the Golden Road on the Grateful Dead channel 23, Sunday afternoons from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. And I think we are just seconds away from turning it back over to the people on stage.
Right. The whole band is on the stage, we're told. So there's just that magic moment where they decide they're ready. They kill the house lights. The crowd goes nuts. We go nuts at home. We all get up to dance wherever we are. And we really look forward to sharing this second set with you. It's been just such a delight watching this band on such a roll. Anyway, so close, they tell us. That's our most recent text message is so close. So close.
Yes, we're in intimate text contact with people on the stage. So
Yes.
in the know. Being held in suspense while we wait for band members to decide to get to it.
Right. I can say that I have actually anchored audio, webcasts of shows for SiriusXM from the stage of the Capitol Theater on a platform above the stage of the Capitol Theater. And it's no easier right at the venue either. You never know exactly when the band is going to decide to go on. So I've done this kind of vamping many, many times over many, many years. It never gets less interesting or less challenging, but it's that moment the band hits the stage, I breathe a sigh of relief that I don't have to yammer anymore. And then I have this great exultation when the band starts playing again. So we're all going to have that together in just a moment.
So if you're enjoying this free preview of set 2 on YouTube, do check out, go over to livedead.co and figure out what your options are for acquiring more of it. You can subscribe to the season, you can order individual shows in HD or 4K. You can subscribe to nugs.net's streaming service, which gives you access to an immense library of literally thousands of performances by hundreds of artists and the entire Dead and Company live concert archive going back to the beginning, and many other things. And as Gary said earlier, SiriusXM has a platinum package, which includes access to portions of the nugs.net library. So you can find out about that at SiriusXM.com. Now we're starting to repeat ourselves. Please take the stage, musicians. We love you so much. We would love to hear you rap yourselves.
Yeah. What I've come to learn over the years is the music happens exactly when it's supposed to happen. Sometimes that can exceed when we run out of things to say, but that's okay. They're paying us to do this, so we'll just keep yammering until we can stop.
You're just such a freaking bodhisattva about this stuff, man. As if we had a choice. Soon come, as they said in Jamaica.
Indeed. That's right.
Please.
Perhaps we should avail ourselves of some of the sacrament that allows people to have that soon come attitude in Jamaica. That could help.
I don't do that when I'm broadcasting. But as soon as we get off the air,
that's right. We both live in legal states now, so
that's right. And I'm in California, and our dinner is about to arrive. So we're going to have a very pleasant evening watching this second set from Bethel Woods, New York, of Dead and Company. Please play. Please play.
You know, sometimes I think they're doing it on purpose.
Well, I've already given the, go to livedead.co, donate to rexfoundation.org, and go visit headcount.org and see how you can help save democracy by getting people to register to vote. We need, regardless of your position, house lights down, we're done. Thank you, everybody. See you in a couple of days.
Now, 50-some years ago, we, right here, we tried this next little sequence, and it didn't work so well for us. So we're going to try it again. reflecting moonlight, riding what for across the morning sky. Sunlight splatters, dawn will answer. Darkness shrugs and bids the day goodbye. Leading arrow, sharp and narrow, one lot of fleeting matters you have spent. Several seasons with their treason, wrap the babe in scarlet colors. One man gathers what another man spills. so long, he's got to calling it home. Fortune comes a crawling, Goliath be a woman, speeding that curious sense of your own. Can you answer? Yes, I can. But what would be the answer to the answer man? First thing I remember knowing was the lonesome whistle blowing and a youngin's dream of going to ride a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I was bound. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. One and only